But why let small details like that stop you when you can buy a £10 mic and talk about murder in the cupboard under your stairs with a total stranger? Fast forward to today, and RedHanded is an internationally renowned, award-winning hit podcast with thousands of self-proclaimed spooky bitches tuning in for their weekly dose of murder, wit, and what the fucks. But despite how far it has come, RedHanded continues to transport listeners back to that first ever party at which Hannah and I sat together, engrossed, discussing a case that fascinated us.
Week in and week out, we at RedHanded explore a veritable smorgasbord of murder cases with the aim of dissecting not only the story, but also the social, cultural, political, and psychological aspects that feed into every crime. During our years of research and exploration into the world of violent offenders, we have seen it all. But we keep coming back to one question. What drives a killer to kill? And while the nature versus nurture debate has started to feel a little outdated, because the answer is, of course, both, we're fascinated by the mind-bending interplay between genetics, environment, and experiences, and how they impact who we are. So after getting a few hundred podcast episodes under our belt, we decided it was time to pull together everything we'd learned and write this book about what sets a killer apart from the rest of us.
The answer to this question is, of course, incredibly complex. And the path that leads someone to kill another human being is a complicated and twisty-turny one. If you listen to RedHanded, once again, top marks, you'll know that no matter how bad some of these cases are, we never once refer to the killers as monsters. To do so implies something otherworldly about them, and conveniently removes such people from being our societal responsibility. It dehumanizes them, and that just doesn't make much sense to us. Because what leads a person to deviance and depravity is usually something very human indeed. So let's get started.
Chapter 1. Genetics. Bad genes, Bronner's boys, and Bundy's PCLR. In 2019, 26 million people took an at-home DNA test, compared to just 4 years earlier. That's a 1,633% rise in people spitting in vials and swabbing their mouths to see if they can still eat bread or to find out just how Irish they are. We can't think of anything else that has grown in popularity that much recently, except maybe true crime podcasts and craft avocado beer. This astronomical rise in DNA testing shows us two things: our endless fascination with who we are genetically and how the fields of genetics and molecular biology have evolved over recent decades. The first human genome, which was published in 2003, revealed some startling things. For a start, we have way fewer genes than anyone predicted. It also led to some amazing advances, like being able to screen for certain diseases, facilitating the discovery of incredible and novel therapeutics, making genome sequencing easy, and even making gene editing possible. But what about the more complex elements of what makes us who we are, like personality and behaviour? Can we simply take a look at someone's DNA sequence and predict that person's future? Or are we just updating our tea leaves and tarot cards and calling it science? These days, it's hard to ignore the regular drumbeat of headline-making discoveries, claims that a gene has been identified for anything from procrastination to liberalism to adultery, and even for when a person will lose their virginity. We are not kidding. So, what about a gene that predicts criminality? The notion that criminals are born rather than made is not a new one. Since the 1930s, with the rise of new techniques within the fields of genetics, the fervour to find a link between criminal behaviour and genetics has been steadily ramping up. Why? Well, of course, if a genetic marker that predicted violence, depravity and murder could be found, then perhaps interventions could be put in place. A person with that genetic vulnerability could be treated